They are going to make those videos available. If you're at the conference, you will have if that's all right.
Yeah.
Is that okay with everybody, by the way? I mean, I thought I looked really nice, so I'm not bothered. But if anybody felt they needed some touching up or anything, if you're at the conference, you will get an email anyway. If you are not at the conference tomorrow but still would like access to Iris Connect in order to watch these back, can you email Sarah please at sarah@irisconnect.co.uk. So if you email Sarah you will get access to those videos, and if the presenters are okay with that, we would also like to put the presentations up next to it as well. Is there anything else I'd say? No, I'm going to shut up. We've got a few more presentations just to try and make sure that as many people stay at the end. We have the last two presentations involve musical maths, singing. Is it sing-along?
Sing-along.
A sing-along. So once you've all had enough drinks to do that. And then the final one, in case you haven't had enough alcohol, is... in fact, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's definitely worth waiting for. I'm going to pass you over now to Jamie Portman from Cramlington School. So I'd like to welcome Jamie, and we'll get on with the second half.
Hi everybody, I'm Jamie from Campsmount, and I'm going to do 7 minutes on something entitled Jing and the Stick in the Sand. And then after 2 minutes, I'm going to show a video that's linked to my presentation by Gwyneth Parry, who's a friend of Cramlington and the director of Real Smart. It's going to be a little bit tricky because I've got to start here, I'm going to do a demo over there, then I'm going to come back. I've got no remote control, so if you could change the slides for me please. Okay, I'm going to talk about the use of video in supporting learning and talk about interventions and feedback and things like that. This is a very short clip of a video. It's a little bit embarrassing, but I'm going to show it. It lasts about 13 seconds just to give you a flavour of some of the videos that I've used in history for GCSE students. Yes, please. Hang on. Leave it like that, that should play. The main points of the treatment. When thinking about the term history and the exam questions, you want to remember the letters B, R, A and T, or BRAC for short. B is for blame, has Germany had to so it's a little bit embarrassing, but I did that at Dean McFarlane over there, who's come from Campsmount, and we did this in a city learning centre. And I was showing staff at my school, Campsmount, how to use videos to support students in class. And I was standing behind a green screen, and I would be able to stand in front of different political leaders in World War I. So I'd have Lloyd George there and George Clemenceau, and you'd have film in the background. And it looked really quite impressive. But if you just turn the slide for me. I think it actually had a negative effect on staff, because the pros were that student engagement was quite high, parental engagement was quite high because it was put on a DVD, parents were invited in, and we'd like parents to watch this with your children and support their revision. So it was a revision aid. The cons to this was that it was real high energy stuff. And when I mean high energy, I'd record it, I'd have to write everything down, practice it, get somebody in to record it, work with somebody to edit it, put it onto a DVD. Real high energy and time consuming stuff. And it wasn't sustainable. This sort of approach for me isn't sustainable. And I think it was quite scary to teachers to think, well, hang on a minute, I can't really be bothered to spend so much time when I'm so busy doing everything else in my professional life. So I'm going to show you Jing. If you can turn the slide for me. Jing is free. As opposed to that high energy input, it's really low energy. And you have a high output, a high outcome. So I'm going to use Jing to show you how to create your own sort of revision videos, intervention videos, and we'll show you how we could use it for some feedback as well. So that will work. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so Jing is here. On a normal PC, it would be in the middle of the screen. And you just simply get some crosshairs. So I'm going to simply highlight what I want Jing to record. If I wanted it to highlight all of the screen, it would record all of the screen. I'm simply going to go down here and I'm going to begin to capture the video. All I need to do is talk and press the PowerPoint slide, the button up or down, and I'll be able to create a very simple revision video. So go. Here's a countdown. Okay, so welcome to our revision video. We're going to briefly look at to what extent the young people benefit from Nazi rule. So let's look at the yes argument. And yes, of course, German people felt proud. There was an embarrassment and shame of the Treaty of Versailles. Hitler reduced employment, etc., etc. There's a yes and no argument, and if we look at the no argument, they're obviously afraid. The Nazis persecuted people, etc., etc. So I'll finish the recording. Now let's see if it works. Okay, so welcome to our revision video. We're going to briefly look at to what extent the young people benefit from Nazi rule. So let's look at the yes argument. And yes, of course, German people felt proud. There was an embarrassment and shame of the Treaty of Versailles. Hitler reduced employment, etc., etc. So I'll stop it there. So there is a very easy revision video. That's free for 5 minutes. Then I'm going to think about feeding back to students' work. Working with CD borderline students are very rare. Well, I don't know if they do or not, but reading the comments. So I've got here, let's say, a piece of work. It's by someone, I think he used to work here, called Simon Brown. Is he in the audience? Is he? He's at the front there if you can't see him. Okay, so this is Simon's work. So I can give Simon some feedback by recording his work. Okay, Simon, I'm really impressed with the way you've actually handed in something on time. I'm not quite sure with this bit here that says this is me homework. You could actually improve that for next time. But what I really like is this bit here, the way you open this sentence. I used to be an amazing teacher. I think the emphasis should be on used to be an amazing teacher. Can I highlight this use of the literacy? You really need to improve on that. And it would be nice for next time when it says I would love to be a proper teacher again because if you could use some sort of simile or metaphor, that would be really impressive. Thank you. Stop that.
You keep phoning me when you need help though, Jamie. Well,
Okay, Simon, I'm really impressed with the way you've actually handed in something on time. I'm not quite sure with this bit here that says this is me homework. If you could actually improve that for next time. But what I really like is... Okay, you get the impression. And linking on from this, I recently went on a learning conference with Mark Lovett, who's deputy head here, if you don't already know. I just saw this. And it was like a learning conference in County Mayo in Ireland, and we played about with lots of different things. We played about with our phones to capture technology, to capture the learning. There were some people playing about with QR codes, Skype and Twitter, and all of these sort of technological things. But the most impressive thing for me, what I learned from it, please, next slide, was the most effective ICT tool. The most effective ICT tool that we bonus what we're actually talking about here is simply the stick in the sand. And the task was 1 minute to explain a concept that you understand. And the amount of engagement and motivation when people were involved, and the amount of higher order thinking skills that were going involved just by a blooming stick in a wet bit of sand was incredibly powerful. What's he talking about there, somebody now?
Learning cycle.
Well, the Cramlington learning cycle. Well done, Chris. And it's quite reminiscent of the very beginnings of ICT for me, this idea of information and communication technology. Can you move on from it? So the pros with this is that it was interactive, engaging, low energy and incredible high input in terms of everybody involved and the high order thinking going on. But the cons were that the sand washes away. And I'm going to play you an audio clip, so I use my iPhone to capture the learning, and that's a real key point I want to make from this presentation. When you capture the learning effectively, it evokes certain emotions in your brain. And I want you to listen to the conversation, but more importantly, listen to the non-verbal sounds that were going on. By that I mean non-language. Listen to the background, because that really evoked some memories for me. If you could please.
Okay, here we are at Lobby 11, we are on the beach. We have just taken part in the Beach Olympics, where we had to draw something in the sand to explain a concept in 1 minute. What are your thoughts on all of this? Mr. Lovett, Deputy Head of Cramlington Learning Village.
What I thought was, clever idea, get people to explain different things. I like the fact that everyone had a stick, so everyone could interact. So actually, we turned the beach in our own interactive whiteboard. Great, neat one.
So that's what I really want to go on. Get myself a beach and a stick, and I'm going to crack on with it.
So the non-verbal things for me was the sound. It was incredibly windy. Remember that day, Mark? It was very windy. The weather was pretty poor. Right at the end, you heard Mark laughing. And those two sounds for me, really, in my brain, really evoked and promoted the experiences that I felt whilst that learning was going on. It really brought it back to me. So capturing the learning using these tools. If you could just finish. Okay, so in summary, for what I've learned from Jing and the stick in the sand is the concept of when using ICT, it doesn't have to be really complicated and really flashy. It can be very simple as using Jing. So it's about low energy, to get higher output. Engagement is obviously the key. But the key from what I've learned from this is capturing the learning in order to evoke memories that are associated to the learning that took place at the time. I'm going to play you a video now which is linked to this by Gwyn Parry, if you will please.
Jamie's stick and wet sand is a perfect example to quickly show what ICT is, how we can quantify its impact on learning, how we can improve learning using ICT, and indeed that ICT is a medium through which we learn more and learn it faster. Jamie's experience of drawing in the sand must have been very similar to our first ancestors' breakthrough use of ICT, where we wanted to convey a message to someone else. Where we abstracted reality for the first time, where we wanted to explain where the buffalo was compared to the mountain and the river. Mountain, river, buffalo. So, if we look at the efficiency of Jamie's learning environment, the energy is low and the capacity is increased by increasing motivation through engagement. And if Jamie was actually talking about something worthwhile, the depth of the learning element is increased. But using the APT model, Jamie's learning was only available to the people on the beach, in that one place, and as soon as the tide came in, his learning would be washed away forever. Unless he got a website and put a photo on it.
I am married, by the way. I don't know why you brought that. That's it.